Today, turning 60 no longer means you're old in the traditional sense. These are people who have just finished a lifetime of work and are finally beginning to live for themselves. But living longer is not just a gift, it's a challenge. You may have 20, even 30 more years ahead of you, but how can you make sure those years are not just longer, but better? We spoke with experts in geriatrics, nutrition, psychology, and even long-living seniors themselves to uncover the truth. How can we best prepare for a longer old age than ever before? From small daily habits to life-changing decisions like where to live, how to maintain relationships, and even learning to let go, each is a key to not just longevity, but quality of life. And perhaps the most important thing all experts agree on: you must start preparing now, not to resist aging, but to embrace it with intention, clarity, and inspiration. Over the past century, the proportion of adults aged 65 and older has seen a dramatic surge, growing nearly 5 times faster than the general population between 1920 and 2020. Much of this demographic shift is due to the aging of the baby boomer generation, those born after World War II, who began turning 65 in 2011. But it's not just about numbers. Today's seniors are also living longer, healthier lives than their parents and grandparents did. Dr. Angela Sanford, a geriatrician and associate professor at St. Louis University, points out something society often overlooks. People in their 60s are undergoing profound transformation. We tend to underestimate what a major period of change the 60s really are, she explains. Many are transitioning into retirement or stepping back from full-time work for the first time, suddenly faced with the question, how should I spend this new chapter of my life? Others are navigating shifts in family roles, caring for aging parents, watching their children become independent adults, or stepping into grandparenthood. On top of that, new health concerns may start to emerge, prompting a deeper focus on well-being and lifestyle. According to Dr. Sanford, more and more individuals in their 60s are not just adjusting to aging, they're actively reimagining their futures. They're asking what truly matters, how they want to live, and what kind of life they hope to lead in the next 20 or 30 years. In response to these evolving needs, we consulted with leading experts to offer practical, science-based guidance on how to prepare wisely, so that life after 60 isn't just longer, but fuller, healthier, and more meaningful. So, what are the typical signs of aging that begin to appear in your 60s? And how do they differ from person to person? Aging looks different for everyone. While two people might both be 60 years old on paper, their health, vitality, and prospects for a long life can vary dramatically. One might be hiking mountains or gardening daily, while the other is already managing several chronic illnesses. This contrast is more common than we think. According to Dr. Jennifer Schrack, director of the Johns Hopkins Center on Aging and Health, aging is not a one-size-fits-all process. While it's true that we all become more vulnerable to health issues as we grow older, there's a wide range of how aging manifests in individuals, she says. Two people at the same age can appear to be living in completely different decades, depending on their physical condition and activity levels. As we enter our 60s, it's normal to notice some age-related changes: slower metabolism, reduced muscle mass, or a slight decline in energy. However, these signs don't arrive at the same pace or with the same intensity for everyone. A large part of how we age is influenced by our genetics, long-term lifestyle habits such as diet and physical activity, and even the environment we live and work in. Dr. Ernest Gonzalez, director of the Center for Health and Aging Innovation at New York University, adds another crucial layer to the story. He points out that aging doesn't happen in a vacuum. It's shaped by the broader social and political environment. Structural inequalities, chronic stress, and experiences of discrimination can all accelerate the aging process, he explains. This means that factors like socioeconomic status, race, and access to quality healthcare also play a significant role in how gracefully or harshly we age. In short, reaching your 60s is not the same journey for everyone. Understanding the full picture, biology, behavior, and the world around us can help you navigate this chapter with more empathy, awareness, and preparation. As we enter our 60s, how exactly does the body begin to change? And what do these shifts mean for our daily life and long-term health? As people step into their 60s, subtle yet significant physical changes often begin to surface, some barely noticeable at first, others more impactful. Dr. Jennifer Schrack notes that one early and common sign is a slight slowing in walking pace. While this might seem minor, it often signals underlying shifts in the body, such as a decline in balance, joint pain, or reduced efficiency in how the brain sends signals to the legs. It's not simply about aging muscles, it's a complex interplay of coordination, reflexes, and sensory input. Joint health also becomes a more pressing issue in this decade. Osteoarthritis, the most common form of arthritis, often begins to manifest after age 60. People might notice stiffness upon waking, swelling in the joints, or even a grating sensation, as if bones are grinding against each other. These symptoms can gradually erode mobility and comfort. Interestingly, women are more prone to developing osteoarthritis than men, especially after menopause, due to hormonal shifts that affect cartilage and joint resilience. Speaking of menopause, this natural transition also has deeper implications for bone health. The sharp decline in estrogen levels accelerates bone density loss, increasing the risk of osteoporosis. This condition silently weakens bones, making them more susceptible to fractures. Statistics show a stark gender gap. Approximately 27% of women over 65 are affected, compared to only about 6% of men. Another less visible but equally important change is the weakening of the immune system, a process known as immunosenescence. This slow decline reduces the body's ability to fight off infections, meaning that illnesses may last longer or become more severe with age. Seniors may also respond less robustly to vaccines or recover more slowly from common ailments. Vision also shifts noticeably. By their 60s, most people have smaller pupils than they did in their 20s. This anatomical change means less light enters the eye, making it harder to see clearly in dim environments such as restaurants or during evening walks. Adjusting to lighting changes can become slower, and reading in low light may feel more strained than before. In sum, aging in your 60s is marked by a series of physical transformations, some natural, others requiring active management. Understanding these changes is the first step toward maintaining independence, comfort, and health as we grow older. View image in full. But aging isn't just about physical changes. Your 60s can also bring subtle shifts in how your brain functions, particularly when it comes to memory. According to Dr. Angela Sanford, some degree of forgetfulness is completely normal at this stage of life. You might notice that it takes a bit longer to process new information, that multitasking feels more mentally taxing, or that you need to repeat things a few times before they stick. These are all typical cognitive adjustments as the brain slows down slightly with age. For instance, walking into a room and momentarily forgetting why you're there, only to recall it a few seconds later, is quite common. However, if you find yourself entering a room and not even realizing you were looking for something in the first place, that could be a red flag. This kind of memory lapse moves beyond simple forgetfulness and may signal deeper cognitive concerns. If these changes begin to affect your daily life or cause worry, it's essential not to ignore them. Dr. Sanford advises speaking with a healthcare provider, as there are reliable screening tools that can help detect early signs of cognitive decline, including mild impairment or even early-stage dementia. Addressing these issues early can make a significant difference in maintaining brain health and independence as you age. Alongside changes in memory and mental sharpness, many people in their 60s begin to notice shifts in how they sleep. Aging has a notable impact on sleep patterns, and sleep disturbances become increasingly common during this decade of life. In fact, studies show that between 40% to 50% of adults over 60 experience some form of insomnia or difficulty maintaining restful sleep. For some, the problem goes beyond simply tossing and turning. Research suggests that older adults may wake briefly as many as 150 times throughout the night. This fragmented sleep often stems from spending less time in the deep, restorative stages of sleep. As a result, seniors tend to wake more frequently and may struggle to fall back asleep. These disruptions can also be linked to underlying health conditions, side effects from medications, or emotional stress, all of which are more prevalent with age. Another contributing factor is a condition known as advanced sleep phase syndrome. This circadian rhythm disorder causes people to feel sleepy much earlier in the evening and wake up earlier than usual, sometimes well before dawn, making it difficult to get a full night's rest. Fortunately, there are ways to improve sleep quality in your 60s. Experts recommend avoiding long naps during the day, incorporating regular physical activity, and limiting stimulating activities like watching television or using digital devices in the evening. Most importantly, maintaining a consistent sleep schedule, waking up and going to bed at the same time each day, can help reset your internal clock, even if it means gently pushing yourself to stick with the routine. Sleep, like memory and mobility, becomes a crucial pillar of healthy aging, and addressing it proactively can greatly improve overall well-being. As we age, maintaining health isn't just about managing sleep, memory, or physical changes. It also means staying ahead of preventable illnesses. Vaccination becomes a crucial part of that protection strategy, especially in your 60s when the immune system begins to weaken. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, adults over 60, particularly those with underlying health conditions, should make sure they receive several key vaccines. One of the most important is the annual flu shot, which helps guard against seasonal influenza that can be far more severe in older populations. Similarly, COVID-19 vaccination remains critical, with those aged 65 and older advised to receive 2 doses spaced 6 months apart, rather than just a single shot. Another important preventive measure is the pneumococcal conjugate vaccine, recommended for everyone over 50 to protect against pneumonia, a serious respiratory threat that becomes more dangerous with age. The shingles vaccine is also strongly advised for adults over 50, as the risk and severity of shingles increase significantly later in life. In the UK, the NHS recommends shingles vaccination for all adults turning 65. Emerging threats like RSV, respiratory syncytial virus, are also being taken more seriously in older age groups. The CDC now recommends a single dose of the RSV vaccine for adults over 75, and for those over 60 who are at higher risk due to chronic conditions such as heart disease, liver problems, or living in long-term care facilities. In the UK, adults aged 75 to 79 are also eligible for this vaccine. As we grow older, staying proactive about vaccinations, especially for flu, RSV, and COVID, is vital, says Dr. Jennifer Schrack. These illnesses can take a far greater toll on older bodies, both in terms of health and recovery. Prioritizing vaccines is a simple yet powerful step to protect your independence and quality of life as you age. Beyond preventative care like vaccines and regular health checkups, living a long and fulfilling life in your later years is influenced by deeper, more interconnected factors. According to Dr. Jennifer Schrack, the keys to aging well and achieving longevity generally fall into 3 main categories: your genetic makeup, your daily lifestyle choices, and the environment you live in. While genetics are largely out of our control, the other 2, how we live and where we live, can often be shaped to promote better health. However, it's important to acknowledge that socioeconomic status can significantly limit those options, especially for older adults with fewer financial resources. Studies consistently show that seniors with lower incomes tend to have shorter life expectancies, highlighting the need to address broader social determinants of health across all ages. That said, there are still many proactive steps individuals can take. Dr. Schrack emphasizes the importance of maintaining regular contact with healthcare providers. This includes routine blood tests, screenings for chronic conditions, and staying current on vaccinations. One common mistake she sees is older adults avoiding the doctor altogether, often out of fear or complacency. Yet early detection and prevention are among the most powerful tools in extending life and preserving quality of life. Lifestyle habits also play a critical role. Eating a balanced diet, staying physically active, and nurturing social connections all contribute to longevity. And the good news? You don't have to engage in intense workouts to experience the benefits. Even modest physical activity can support both physical and cognitive health. Mobility, for example, is a major predictor of successful aging, but many don't appreciate its importance until it begins to decline. Dr. Schrack recommends incorporating aerobic, strength, and balance exercises into your routine, such as walking, rising from a chair without assistance, or practicing single-leg stands. These seemingly simple movements can significantly enhance stability and independence. Dr. Angela Sanford adds that staying active offers one of the highest returns when it comes to aging well. For those afraid of falling, working with a physical therapist can help restore the confidence needed to stay mobile and engaged. Physical activity also brings profound benefits to the brain. Exercise increases circulation, delivering oxygen and nutrients vital for brain function. In fact, research shows that even just 30 minutes of activity can improve memory in adults aged 50 to 83. As Schrack puts it, those who move more and move with energy often enjoy better brain health as they age. Of course, living well in your 60s and beyond isn't only about physical health, it's also about your mindset. As the years go by, many people begin to worry about aging itself, the loss of youth, the fear of decline, or simply the unknown. But experts say that shifting your perspective can make all the difference. Dr. Angela Sanford points out that the older adults who age most gracefully aren't necessarily free of pain or problems. They're the ones who keep going despite them. Some of my most resilient patients are in their 80s and still playing pickleball, she says. They have aches and health issues, but they don't let that stop them. A strong mindset is everything. Beyond staying active in body and mind, Dr. Sanford emphasizes the importance of having a sense of purpose. Whether it's joining a local club, continuing to care for family members, or mentoring others, feeling useful and engaged gives people the motivation to take care of themselves. In fact, she's observed that those who feel they're contributing in some meaningful way tend to age more successfully. Volunteering is one particularly powerful way to cultivate that sense of meaning. According to Dr. Ernest Gonzalez, research shows that older adults who give their time to others often experience less depression and loneliness, along with a stronger sense of purpose. In some cases, these emotional benefits even translate into sharper cognitive performance. Gonzalez also encourages older adults to reflect on how societal views may have shaped their fears around aging. Many of the negative beliefs we hold, such as the idea that aging means becoming irrelevant, are rooted in ageist thinking. Try reframing aging as a privilege, he advises. It's not something to dread. It's an opportunity to grow, contribute, and live more freely than ever before. So yes, aging is real. The changes are real. But so is the power you still hold. Turning 60, 70, or even 80 isn't the end of energy, wisdom, or value. In fact, it might just be the beginning of a chapter that's more honest, more meaningful, and more free than anything that came before. You can't change your genetics, but you can choose how you eat, how you move, how you sleep, and how you think. You can't stop time, but you can absolutely shape how the rest of your time feels. Stronger, clearer, and more vibrant than most people ever expect. If this video gave you a new perspective or a spark of motivation to take charge of your health and well-being, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. We share content to support, inspire, and walk with you through the journey of aging, gracefully and powerfully. And before you go, we'd love to hear from you. Where in the world are you watching this from today? Drop it in the comments. We read everyone. This isn't just a channel. It's a growing community of strong, thoughtful people rewriting what life after 60 can look like. Take care, and we'll see you in the next video.